Are you a goofball? I'm gonna see if it's even possible for me to push the bike up this hill. Holy crap, this is hard. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. It hurts. Good way to start the day. Off to Pender Island. Get that jump. Oh. Soft, mossy bed. Oh, this is the baby. Yeah. My roofy dudes. The baby. Who's a big happy puppy? Are you a big happy puppy? Are you a big happy puppy? Yeah. I'm gonna be a big happy puppy too when my coffee is ready. This just looks like a pile of garbage, but it's actually coffee on a stove with a wind block. Good cheesy peasy. Trail the waterfall and viewpoint, no bikes. Oh well, the waterfall's probably not running right now anyway. Oh. Time to go uphill. Bedwell Harbor down there. There's a marina resort down there. We're gonna head down and get filled up on water, and then we'll head out to Galiano Point where we're supposed to be able to catch a view of Washington Islands. Pretty excited for that. All these islands out here are Washington. And back there, Mount Baker. Laura loves her wet kibbles and oats. It's those wet oats that just drive her crazy. Okay, good girl, get him. Get that food. Good girl. Gotta love a filthy, dirty IPA. Managed to beat the heat this time. We'll probably stay on this beach unless any unforeseen intrusion occurs and we're kicked out. But that hasn't happened anywhere around here. Just that one time on Hornby. Sorry, you look crazy. You're half asleep, weird face. Yeah. That thing looks like a giant piece of Lego. That's the weirdest looking ship I ever seen. Find a nice campsite, cheesy peasy. Got this driftwood shelter somebody built. Pretty cool. There's not enough room for me and Zora in there, but lots of room here. You eating dirty old crabs? A little pooper. Now this is a spot. Experimented cold soaking. Cold soaked pasta with chili powder, pepper, and a whole bunch of soy butter. It looks amazing. Yep, it tastes amazing. I soaked that for about 4 hours in the sun. So good. I forgot I put dried peas in there. This little island in the front here with the bluffs is called Waldron Island. Behind it, the bigger one is Orcas Island. And then below Mount Baker would be Bellingham right there, if you could see it. I've been waiting for this. The clouds just about blown off of Mount Baker. we're expecting rain today, so I set up this little tarp shelter between two big driftwood logs. It's about as stealthy, quick, and effective as you can get, I think. Should be a good night. Well, I misjudged the tide, so I had to grab all our stuff and move it. But also, a big ship came by in the dark and stirred up the waves, and they kind of started splashing up a little higher than they otherwise would have. But it was kind of an early warning sign, I suppose, that the tide was coming closer than I thought. So I moved us over there. I'll show you. There we are, we're much higher up the beach. We got the tarp strung up in between this big log and this ramshackle pile of driftwood. There's the water down there. Should be good this time. Oh, we made it through high tide. We're good now. Didn't really mean to spend the hour between 2:30 and 3:30 resetting up the shelter, but such is life, sleeping on the beach, I suppose. At least it wasn't raining. There's something extremely frustrating about not being allowed to have a fire in the rain, but this island's got an arbitrary fire ban. So, there's the stove. Sad little stove hissing away. The food's under here. The Zora's under there. The shelter's all ramshackle because we're not, well, we're on the edge of a park that we're not supposed to stay in overnight. We're technically on the crown land, but you know. So we're just trying to not be set up right now. Just look like we're here for the morning. Enjoying the view. I took everything down and packed it away on the bike. So the only thing left out is the tarp, so that's good. There's nothing else to get wet. Nothing else to worry about packing up before we go. Under the tarp now. There's a Zora over there. Can you see her in the driftwood? There's my food. There's the stove. Tarp's just draped over us, whatever, it works. It's not windy. Oh, little puppy. It's a little better. Just a quick and dirty tarp setup with a stick to hold it up. You know, looking at a rainy, gray ocean still is quite a bit nicer than being inside looking at a TV screen. Although, I gotta say, after 8 weeks of it, looking at the ocean that is, I wouldn't mind a TV screen for just a couple days. Mainly it's the couch, the toilet, and the stove. I miss those three things. But I need to remind myself that when I get back to that couch, toilet, stove, and TV, I'll miss this. Rain and all. Coming down good now. I had to actually pitch the tarp up. Sitting here in my damp little stove corner of the tarp shelter. It's dry-ish. Zora's dry. So's the stuff and the food. This By far one of the worst tarp shelters I've ever pitched. I got lazy. I fixed it up a lot. It's much better. There's still no room in here because I put it on top of all this driftwood. But funny story is I put it on this driftwood pile on purpose so that I could have shelter from the wind that was here half an hour ago for my stove. And that is working. I am getting coffee and it's not using up all my fuel in the wind. So yeah, I kind of did that for a reason, but it's still miserable. I'm going to see how much of this water I can collect off that drip. Probably a lot. I'm getting so wet right now. That bottle's almost half full already. I got my water and I got my coffee. A little chilly, actually, just because I'm so wet right now, but I should dry off pretty fast in here once I stop going out there. I added 2 more layers. I added my quick dry running brand t-shirt as a base layer, which was a new dry layer next to my skin, which makes me feel a lot warmer immediately. Then I put my damp long sleeve shirt back on. Then I put on my high-vis riding vest, which is a water-resistant material like my jacket. And then I put my wet jacket back on top. Now all my heat is getting trapped in there, and that moisture will start to evaporate out of my clothes. And since I'm not being rained on at the moment, I'll start to dry. It's July 2nd and we're finally getting June weather. It's cold and rainy. Happy belated Canada Day. Good girl. All right. 7 weeks and the tour is finally starting to wrap up. We've got 2 more islands to hit. Mayne today and Saturna in the next few days. And then we'll be returning to the mainland at Tsawwassen Port. And that will be the end of that. Crazy. On board once again, Azores.
Are you on board? Are you on board? Physically but not mentally. Oh, baby girl. What are those cars doing? Oh, what are those cars doing? What are they doing?
They give Zora lots of treats at the ticket booth today. One for the road.
Are those cars driving? Are those cars driving? You watch them. You watch them. Good girl. Oh, what's that pigeon doing? That's a shithawk, Zora. That's called a shithawk. Yeah. Easy peasy.
It's a good thing I hadn't planned on camping on that beach when we arrived here. So we gotta head back out west in the general direction of Vancouver Island and Salt Spring, and then we'll swing inside. That'll be Salt Spring right there. We'll swing around to the north, behind what you see there, to Mayne Island. Look at those side thrusters, keeping us stable. There's more down there. A big boat. This boat stops at all the Gulf Islands and then crosses the channel to Tsawwassen. So it's the same one that we'll be riding the whole time. So many cottages. Everywhere you look, there's a cottage. I'm pretty sure that's Galiano right there. The big steep one without the cottages. I think we'll have to make a stop over there. I'm pretty sure that we catch the ferry here to get there. It's a special ferry that's not part of the Gulf Island connector route. I guess this one with all the cottages is Mayne, but there's still plenty of land that's not cottage. Hoping for the best. Okay, it's time to get back to my nervous puppy. Poor nervous puppy. This door is not in service. We get a lot of that on these ferries. Can I go in or what? What the? These doors are opaque. Did I put you in the degrading metal box? The poor puppy. Like an animal. Aw. Good girl. The poor puppy has to stay in this crappy room because she's not allowed on the passenger decks. Because dogs aren't real passengers, apparently. Wow, that's a lot of cars. It's a busy ferry. Good job on the ferry, sweetie pie. There's your reward. I'm a good girl. I'm gonna crunch it up in the gravel, just like I tried to specifically get you not to. Little bratty.
Hi, lickers. Hi, licker biters. Yeah. What you looking at there, Peasy? Yeah, Peasy. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Rawr! She's a big gnarly dog. It's easy peasy. It's easy peasy. Rawr! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? What's that? You big happy puppy? Yeah? Big happy puppy? Good girl. This ferry beach has the nicest, sandiest beach. Yeah, I know, I just said the beach has a beach. Of any beach. On the island, beaches. Beach. Sand. This is the nicest beach on the Gulf Island so far. Look at this sweet campsite. Well, campsite maybe a little bit of a stretch. Flat spot on which to camp when you're a dirtbag traveler. The tide is 10 minutes from all the way up right now, which means that we will not get wet here tonight. You can hold me to that. You'll see me tonight if I'm wrong. Or should I say, what should I say? You won't see me tonight. You'll see me when I put this on YouTube. This spot even has fresh water trickling out of the rocks. Spot right next door. The other one was flatter, but the rocks were wet from the trickle from the rain. Some old dog poop. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is I would have to get rid of the big rocks and drag some of these down. And then it would probably be a better spot, actually. Come here a little bit later. And it would come with food. Free meals. Included with stay. $0.
Of all the money that e'er I spent it in good company, and of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me, and all I've done for
I think that's the Mayne to Galiano ferry. I think I'm going to take that tomorrow. Well, if it comes here, then I'll know it is.
Has my heart begun? Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips alone she holds my heart enthralled. Then fill to me the parting glass.
If lying down were a competition, Zora would win. Same with sleeping. Zora, are you a competitive sleeper? Are you trying to set records?
Wow, they turn that thing around just like a car and they're off.
Zora's getting good at riding the ferries. Easy peasy. Oh yeah.